while we practice Yoga Nidra, what we generally do is we narrow down one of your desires and we learn how to convert that desire into a resolve. Voice is not clear?
No.
Okay. So we have to understand the concept of mind first, because whatever desires which are coming up in the mind, correct? So we should first understand what is mind. So we will try to do that today, and then we will understand what is the role of a mantra or a small meditative practice which will help us to work with the mind. Then this desire list, when we shortlist the desires on priority basis, we will also learn how to prioritize the desires. Then the mind is like a fertile soil, right? So the desire is, one of the desire is sowed there consciously as a seed during the process. What are the four components of the mind?
Buddhi, intellect. I'll have to go back and see what you've done. Manas.
The notes.
I have to go to the notes.
Okay. Okay. So.
Hello, sir. This is Manasu, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara.
Fantastic. So these four, she said exactly in the same order. How we learn in the tradition is in the same order. So it is very important to understand the workings of the mind. The first step to understand the workings of the mind is to treat it in the normal way, which we already saw, right? Let's treat the mind as a friend. Then, like how the fan regulator has various modes, we should understand the various modes in which the mind is operated. You understood? Remember, we will keep compartmentalizing things for the sake of it, and then you have to understand it as one structure. But ultimately, we should understand that it is only one structure which is operating in different modes. Like, for example, Nagaraj is here sitting as a participant. To his mother, he is a child. To his friend, he is a friend. The same Nagaraj will operate in a different mode with each relationship, right? Similar to that, please understand mind. Don't think there are four different compartments or anything like that. There are four different modes in which the mind operates, depending on which operativeness of the mind is needed at that moment. Okay. So right now the role of participant is coming predominant in Nagaraja. The child and the friend component is taking a back seat. They are not absent. Understand that. That much is more than enough. Is it clear, all of you? Okay. Now, how do we call the mind is working as manas? Is when you engage in brainstorming. You can write it down. Engaging in brainstorming, you are deliberating, you are discussing, correct? You are ideating. In all these things, if you notice, they can be done well only when judgment is not exercised. While a brainstorming is happening, if you immediately jump into judgment, people around you giving you ideas would stop giving you ideas. Correct? So brainstorming, when your mind is in the brainstorming mode, ideation mode, discussion mode, deliberation mode, understand that it is operating as manas. So it is quite natural for us throughout the day. Sometime we will find there are so many thoughts, so many things happening to us. So it's absolutely okay. Maybe your mind is ideating, it is throwing certain things. Just be aware. That's more than enough. Second way to, second is buddhi. Buddhi means out of the brainstormed ideas or out of the discussion, you generally pick out one or two ideas, correct? And then try to implement it. So you are exercising your intellect by using certain parameters as filters. For example, this particular online course, when it was announced, if the course was at 8 o'clock in the morning, now none of you would be attending it. Because 8 to 9:30, we have working hours. But 10 days before, 24 hours we were available to do anything. But from May 3, 8 o'clock is not a solution. 6 o'clock is the only solution available, correct? So like that, your buddhi is the one which ascertains the parameters, and like how you filter a tea, you have a tea, no? The tea filter, the sieve, what you call it. The buddhi acts like a sieve to the thoughts which well up in the mind and help you to narrow down the idea or whatever you have to implement based on your own parameters you have fixed. Is it clear? Next, the third operational mode of the mind is your memory. So before taking a decision, you go back to your past. Understand how this happened before. Suppose you are going to buy a product, you go and see the review. Any review, any knowledge is nothing but a repository of past information. That repository of past information about things which you know, which you have experienced, anything about your life, like your hard disk in the laptop, is your memory. So while your manas and buddhi cannot take a decision without consulting chitta. That is why I am telling everything is interrelated. And buddhi also can take a decision only when some alternatives are there, which is given by the manas. You understood? All these things are interdependent. Till now it is clear. Now the fourth mode in which your mind operates is your ahamkara. So what is ahamkara? In the day-to-day life, we are using the word ego. Correct? So we use the word ego in the way we use the word control. We use it maybe in the not the right sense. So there are two important ways to understand the word ego and how we can use it. So that word has been replaced and we are using the word self-arrogating principle. Correct? Now,
I didn't get this last one, ahankara.
Self-arrogating principle.
What does that mean?
Now I am going to explain that. Okay, now.
Self-arrogating mode.
Principle. You just see in the chat window, I have typed it. Self-arrogating principle. Okay. Now, all of us are able to see Bhavana. Right? So, now behind Bhavana, there is a coat in the stand. White coat. We are seeing it as white. Suppose if I ask, whose is that coat? Bhavana, whose is that coat?
That's my son's.
Okay. All of us here present clearly know that coat doesn't belong to us. The one which is giving knowledge is ego only. It is saying, I cannot arrogate that coat to me. Ego is not only saying this is mine, that is mine. It is also telling you which is not yours also. And Bhavana clearly knew that coat is not hers despite it being in her home. Even if she had told us, oh, that's what I use when I go to my office, we would have trusted her. We have no idea. We have no way to know how she dresses and goes to office. But she said, it is my son's coat. So this is also the work of, though the intellect is deciding it, but arrogating to you or not is decision taken by ahamkara. Okay. Now, if I ask her, whose is that t-shirt which you are wearing?
It's mine.
Yeah. She says it's mine. Now it is very clear that t-shirt is hers. Correct? So you have to understand these two ways ego works. One, it will tell clearly this is mine, this is not mine. You understood? Very, very clear. Second way to use ego is, yesterday we spoke about snoozing, no? And Jay said 45 minutes is a snooze. Correct? Like that, ego is that component inside us which in a day-to-day life we can understand it like willpower also. The first mode of ego is to identify whether something is yours or not. The second work of ego is to help you to implement the decision which is taken by your own intellect. If I have to be in the class at 5:55 in the morning, you work back and you have to get up at a particular time. You yourself decided. So a 45-minute snooze means Jay would be joining us straight after the break at 7 o'clock only. Because that time is required for someone to get ready, correct? So please utilize the ahankara mode in us only for these two things. That is called mind culture. One is to just decide whether something is yours or not. Second, to implement the decision taken by your own intellect. Correct? If we use the ego only for these two things, we will not have any problem. Now, we are going back to Bhavana because to understand how her mind is. Now, there is a water bottle behind you, flask. It's a flask, huh? That is there with you. Yeah. So, if I ask her, is that flask yours? Because she is in the class, she may politely tell it is mine. If all of us are sitting with her at her home and the session is happening, suppose if Bhavana erupts, can't you understand? I am only drinking water from this flask. Can't you understand that flask is mine? It can happen, right? It was about to happen, so I told Bhavana. Okay, so I understood. The thing is, when our mind starts to react to things like that, we should understand we need a break. It could be a short 2-3 minute break because the mind is in a reactionary mode. The ego is feeling disturbed. You understood, no? So this is some small hint about how to understand ego and how to understand the 4 modes in which the mind works. Okay. So when you are making the desire list, allow the mind, the manas to work. Do not bring in your buddhi. Do not bring in the knowledge of the past. Oh, I keep planning, but I am not able to do. I am good for nothing. All these thoughts are stored in your chitta only. It is absolutely okay. Let the chitta, manas aspect of your chitta and the buddhi aspect of your mind, allow it to rest. Just to do brainstorming. Then you will get the authentic list of desires which are within you. Is it clear? Okay. So tomorrow, please give good list of desires. Like Jay gave 25. I think all of you put together also you are struggling to reach 20. So we should have good quality, not good number of desires. When I say quality, I'm asking the number. Okay. And be open with yourself. you have to do your own inner journey. So don't mask yourself behind some personality. Be yourself, make things proper, and understand these are the 4 modes in which the mind works. Got it? We are all, fortunately, all of us in this batch are Indians. Rarely this happens. So in all our Indian languages, we utilize these words in our mother tongue. Just go back to your mother tongues, and depending on the situation you are faced with, the scolding will depend on that. People are going to scold you based on that. Correct? So if you recall the scoldings which you give others or which you have received, depending on your behavior or how you are, you can understand the difference between these 4 modes. Okay. So this is what I wish to tell today. So before we meet tomorrow morning, please practice the small awareness module which I shared with you. We did only for 2 minutes. But today, after you get ready, before you go out for your next activity, it could be your job or your consulting or anything, for 5 minutes, take a deep breath and sit quiet and just be aware. And then start your day's work. Is it okay? So tomorrow morning, we'll again meet at 6 o'clock. Okay? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.